fellow Toastmasters, and certainly our distinguished guests. The other day, I was considering quitting some bad habits. But then it occurred to me, no one likes a quitter. How many of you have habits? A habit is a tendency or practice that's especially hard to give up. Examples of habits include brushing your teeth with your right hand, smoking, overeating, anger can be a habit. When I was going through some career transition, it forced me to ask some really important questions like, who am I and what's my purpose? This inquiry enabled me to dig deeper, to find out I wanted to change some habits. But the question was, how? The journey began when a friend introduced me to a book about a triathlete who was riding his bike in a triathlon. And a van going the wrong way hit him going 40 miles an hour. The triathlete was whisked to the hospital where he was evaluated and diagnosed with a broken back and that he would never be able to walk again unless he had radical surgery. Dr. Joe, who's also a chiropractor, decided to forego surgery and instead embarked on an adventure to heal himself through meditation and mental rehearsal. Several studies have been performed to prove that mental rehearsal actually works. In one study, subjects who mentally rehearsed one-handed piano exercises for 2 hours a day for 5 days without ever touching the keypad experienced almost the same level of proficiency as people who practiced physically those same exercises on the piano. In another study, people who mentally rehearsed shooting foul shots from the free throw line experienced almost the same level of proficiency as people who physically shot the basketball. And Dr. Joe, the guy with the broken back who decided to forego surgery, he healed himself by reconstructing his back through mental rehearsal and meditation. Today, Dr. Joe travels the world giving workshops around his teachings. When we repeat our new skill over and over, the mind will adapt and change to the new behavior. Today, I'm going to share with you how to change the habit of being yourself. That is to change unwanted habits. To get started, you must pick something that you want to change about yourself. In fact, the thing you want to change must be more important than behaving the old way. How do you do this? There are 3 steps. Step 1 is the preparation. Read thought-provoking material about the subject that you want to change so you gain more knowledge about it. Next, secure a quiet space where you can alter the lighting from light to dark. Then, close your eyes. Inhale. Hold your breath a few seconds. And then exhale. Let's all do this together. So let's close our eyes. Breathe deeply. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold exhale. This is called pranic breathing. Prana means breath. When you do this 5 or 6 times, your mind will transcend into a relaxed state. Stay in this relaxed state until you're nowhere, where your mind is still and there's no chatter. This exercise may take you a few days to get used to get to this place called nowhere. Some people call it the present moment. Now, you might ask, when's the best time to do this? Some people prefer the morning, before their day gets hectic. It's also closer to when your mind was asleep. It may allow you to reach your subconscious easier and springboard you into the next step, step 2, which is the creation stage. As you rest in this place of nowhere, where your mind is still, there's no chatter, you're going to create a new behavior in your subconscious. And let me explain before I continue why this place of nowhere is so important. This is you, and you're the center of the universe, your universe. And you have incoming information every day about your daily life. It's coming from your spiritual, if you're so inclined, your family, friends, networks, your work. It's also coming from your finances, health, and leisure. All this information is consuming you on a daily basis, and it fills you up, your universe, and leaves you with very little opportunity to create. So what we want to do is we want to carve out a little bitty space right there called nowhere. Where you can create the new you. Maybe you want to better control the trigger points that elevate your temper. For example, let's say that you're in a parking lot and you've got your blinker on and indicating that when this car vacates that space, you're going to take it. When that car does vacate that space, another car pulls in front of you, knowing you've been waiting for that space. Your normal response is to be outraged. Say a few colorful words, you may honk the horn, you may even want to confront the perpetrator. Instead of getting frustrated and raising your voice, you recognize that old behavior and remember all the great things you read about in that thought-provoking material about anger. Then you mentally rehearse how you're going to react when somebody else cuts in front of you or mistreats you in the future. Visualize the old behavior. How dare somebody pull in front of me like that? Didn't they see I had my blinker on? Which causes you to elevate your temper and change it to, maybe they didn't see me. In the grand scheme of life, it's not that big a deal. I'll find another parking space. It's critical that what you want to change is more important than behaving the old way. It's now time to obtain proof that your mental rehearsal is actually working. I call this the ask stage, step number 3. This principle asks that you lay down the old habit and surrender to the unknown or the nowhere place. And then observe how this new behavior shows up in your life. Write down the date of this experience so that you have proof that your mental rehearsal is actually changing the habit of being yourself. Continue your journaling until you've inserted the new program in your mind. In summary, we've talked about 3 steps to change habits. I call it PCA. Preparation, ask for creation, and ask. Changing habits can be like pulling weeds. We probably don't like to do that very much. It's hard work. But if learning a new behavior is more important than behaving the old way, find a method that works for you, because old ways won't open new doors, but new ways will. Mr. Toastmaster.
We're going to our next